Yay.
Welcome to the dungeon where we geek out on all things horror, thriller, mystery, and suspense. And this is my very first movie review on the channel. And I think I picked a really good movie to start off with because as a first movie review, because my very first guest that I had on this channel was David Howard Thornton, aka Art the Clown from Terrifier. If I'll leave a link or something like that on here, or just go to the playlist section of this channel. Just look back and you'll see that David Howard Thornton, the very first guest that we had on here. And then later on, I had David back on, and that time I had the double guest. I had David Howard Thornton come back on a second time, and I also had at the same time Damien Leone, the director of, and I did that interview. That interview is also in the playlist section of this channel. And that was just before Terrifier 2 came out. So it was about over 2 years ago. So now this weekend, Terrifier 3 has hit the cinemas. If you've been watching reviews and the advanced reviews of the Fantastic Fest screening and the premiere in New York City, it is just going ape shit wild. How they have grown from this little known horror movie that was getting all the buzz, but amongst all the horror geeks out there, and now it is projected that Terrifier 3 is the first weekend pocket purse of the initial weekend is projected to even overtake that of Joker, this sequel to Joker. In fact, Damien Leone was approached by many production companies to finance Terrifier 3, and he turned them down for the main reason that once some big Hollywood production company, as soon as they come in, they hold the purse strings, so they're going to start dictating what Damien Leone was allowed to do with his movies. That's exactly why he turned all of them down, because with the production companies, they would not allow him to do just even the first 10 minutes of this movie. And everybody's talking about the first 10 minutes of this movie. People are walking out and blah, blah, blah. Now, for me, my theater, nobody walked out. Nobody passed out. Nobody threw up. I guess we got used to it. But I remember when I saw Terrifier 2 years ago, there was a person that passed out, and they had to call the ambulance and stuff like that. So yeah, that wasn't a marketing gimmick. And let this be a warning to Damien Leone: do not turn Terrifier into a musical. And another thing you don't want to do is put Art the Clown in space. Once you do one of those two things, the franchise is dead. It's done. So please, Damien, do not. I know there's Terrifier 4 coming out. Please do not make it into a musical, and don't make them, put Art and Clown in space, because those two things, no. So anyway, this this is going to be my first review. Now, I'm going to do is just talk about what I thought about the movie, give you my rankings, and then at the last part of the video, I'm going to get into spoilers. Okay, so let's get into it. All right, Terrifier 3 stars. Let me get these names down so I don't forget anything. Lauren Rivera, David Howard Thornton, of course. Antonelli Rose plays Gabby. Then we have Elia Fulham, and Samantha Scafidi plays Victoria. So this movie, and first of all, let's just talk about what everybody was scared of and concerned about, and that is Art the Clown going to kill kids in this movie? Is he going to torture some poor little kid? Because this is set in Christmas. I can tell you that in this movie, they tiptoe right up to the line. Okay, like okay, if this is the line, they put their foot and their toes right to the line, and then they put their toes a little bit past the line without actually fully committing to stepping over the line. Okay, if that makes sense. Makes sense to me, so I don't know if it makes sense to you. So anyway, as far as children dying, animals dying, and a few other triggers and stuff like that. Yeah, they go there just enough to let you get okay, but they don't fully go full blast and cross the lines. Okay, so without getting any spoilers, I'll save what I'll save my description of sport into the spoiler section. But yeah, but basically, if you like Terrifier and you like Terrifier 2, you're gonna like this one. All right, it shows more of we get more answers, we get a little bit more of the lore. But in answering some of those questions, other questions are posed. So you're not getting the full backstory. There's still a lot of mystery behind it. There's still a lot of things we need to know about Art the Clown, about Sienna's father. We do get a little bit more information about the lore in this one. So some of your questions will be answered from Terrifier 2, but not all of them. Now, the pacing in this movie is a bit better. It's, in Terrifier 2, there would be like, if you remember, there's like the kills, and then there's this long thing of, the story of Sienna and Jonathan and so forth before the next kill. This one seems to be more, the kills seem to be more spread out throughout this movie. There's a few kills that occur off screen, and you just see the aftermath. Now, I don't know if they did that to cut down the time, because that's another thing Damien had taken into account is Terrifier 2 was like 2 hours and 20 minutes down there. And this one's just shy over 2 hours. And Damien also said that there is a sort of like I guess a director's cut of this movie that he may release later. I don't know, maybe he might release it for Christmas. Now, as far as the acting, Lauren Rivera, my God, she acted her ass off in this one. Because at this point in the story, she's just been discharged from like an institution. She's dealing with PTSD. She's dealing with the trauma of what she's been through, and they approach those things very well. And Laura did a really, really good job in performing as a character that suffers from PTSD. Also, the more emotionally charged scenes, especially near the end, she just goes all out. There was no holding back, and the way she was acting is like, oh my God, she is the quintessential final girl. David Howard Thornton, again, just the fact that he's able to display so much emotion and so much comedy and stuff, and not only just in his body language and his acting, but also in his facial expressions. And that's hard to do when your face is covered up with all this shit and makeup and stuff. But yet he does an excellent, excellent job. There's a scene with him and a Santa impersonator, the Santa guy in a bar, and that is hailed as like one of the funniest scenes in the movie, and it is. But also during the kills and things leading up to the kills, the gestures and the facial expressions and body language that he does is just, and you need some levity, especially in the middle of some of these really, really intense, fucked up scenes. And they pull it off. There's one really comedic thing that Art the Clown does at the final act and the final, battle between Sienna and Art the Clown. There's something that he does quite a few times in that last scene, that it's in the midst of just the horror and the disgust that you're seeing on the screen. He does this, and it's funny. Also, Vicky, the woman that from the very first Terrifier movie that was in that TV interview, she has been brought to the forefront. She's sort of like the mouthpiece for, I guess, Art the Clown. So Vicky and Art are going like a tag team around, and Vicky also does some exposition dump at the final act in the movie, where some more lore and explanation as far as why they're doing what they're doing and where all the connection is between Sienna and Art. And is Art a demon? How does Art keep coming back to life? That type of thing. Now, the whole thing about each of these Terrifier movies is that there's always this one scene to go, that scene. In the first movie, you have the hacksaw thing. Terrifier 2, you have the bedroom scene. Now, from the trailers of Terrifier 3, people were thinking that it's the shower scene. And true, the shower scene is sort of like one of the high points of the movie, but I would argue that there's quite a few kills in this movie that could be that scene or that kill. There's one near the end, just before Sienna and Art the Clown go at it, that is particularly really revolting, and at the same time, it's like, wow, that's pretty creative. You don't see that every day. The special effects, again, you're talking Damien Leone, practical effects. Some of the effects, there are some kills in this movie. It's like, are you sure that's not real? Are we secretly watching a snuff film? Because these effects are like a little bit too real. So anyway, I want to keep this review as short as I can, because I want to get to the end of the second half of this video where I get into spoilers. But bottom line is, if you like the first two, you're going to love this one. Now again, you don't necessarily need to see the first movie, but it really does help if you saw the Terrifier 2 before seeing Terrifier 3, because they definitely call back on things, especially with the lore. Now, as far as my rankings of the movies, I still like Terrifier 2 the most, and it's followed very closely in the second place with Terrifier 3. It's very close. And then third is the initial Terrifier, because the first Terrifier, there was no plot. It was primarily just a showcase of, hey, this is what we could do with this character. This is what we could do with the special effects. And then Terrifier 2, we enter promptly into the actual storyline of Art the Clown. So my ranking right now is Terrifier 2, followed closely by Terrifier 3, and then Terrifier. To the answers of what the lore is. Who is Art the Clown? What is Sienna's relationship to Art the Clown? Is Art the Clown a demon? Is he just a monster? What is he? Why does he keep coming back to life? Why can you not kill him? Those answers are given in Terrifier 3. It's in the cinemas now. Go out there, support independent movie makers, and specifically independent horror movie makers. And this movie really does need to be enjoyed in a crowd. My theater was about 2/3 full, and me and the people that were sitting next to me and in the row, we were laughing our asses off at some point. So definitely go check this out in the cinemas if it's playing near you. And hopefully Damien will come out with the director's cut for this Christmas. So this is a double bear. This is a double treat. We got Terrifier 3 as a good Halloween movie, but it's take place at Christmas, so you can watch it at Halloween and you can watch it again at Christmas. It's a Christmas movie. I would rate it I give it about a 3.5 out of 5 stars. I'll deduct like a half a star just because we didn't get all the answers as far as like the lore, and quite honestly, we got very little answers as far as what's going on with Sienna's dad. Is Sienna's dad Art the Clown? Is Sienna's dad Art the Clown? We get no answers for that. So yeah, I deduct a half a star for lack of some answers on that. But other than that, yeah, it's an excellent movie. Go check it out. So now, let's get into the spoilers because I'm not going to be able to see my therapist for the next 2 weeks. She's out of town, and I got to get some shit off of my chest because, god damn. All right. So you've been warned. Entering the spoiler section now. Jonathan's dead. Now, his kill is one of the kills that occurs off screen. And, people are saying like, oh, I don't think he's dead. If you don't see the body, he's not dead. If you don't see the kill, he's not dead. He's still alive. I could see that, but the reveal of when they actually revealed to Sienna that her brother is dead, if you would have seen if his kill would have been on screen, then that reveal would not have been as shocking and horrifying as it would have been. I mean, I hate to say it, but I do think that they killed off Jonathan's character. Her brother is dead. Because the way they revealed that, it was more shocking than if they just would have did the kill on screen. Secondly, the whole thing about Art killing kids. Yes, there are kids being killed in this movie, but they don't show it. The first, and this is where we talk into the first 10 minutes of the movie. The first 10 minutes of the movie is sort of like similar to the little teaser that they did, I think last year when Terrifier 2 was re-released in the movies. After seeing it, they did a little clip of Terrifier 3. And it was just more of like, yes, there's going to be a Terrifier 3, but it's going to take place at Christmas time. And if you all saw that promo, people were starting to say, oh my God, is Art going to kill a kid? Okay, so the first 10 minutes is basically, it's a refilming. I don't think they used the same little girl that was in the promo. So it seemed like they reshot that promo in a sense. So basically, yeah, a little girl hears something on the roof, tells her parents, oh, I hear something on the roof. And of course, the parents like, oh, no, that's yeah. Go back to bed. So anyway, she tries to go back to bed. The parents go back to sleep. And the little girl hears now something downstairs. So she goes downstairs, sees Santa walking around and doing the presents and stuff. And then she hides. It's like she doesn't want Santa to know that she's there. Okay, because if Santa knows that you're awake, he's not going to leave you any presents, right? So anyway, one of the things that this Santa takes out of his bag is an axe, and he walks very slowly, quietly upstairs, and he goes into the little girl's brother's bedroom. And the little girl goes, previously the little girl goes into her brother's room, and I hear something downstairs, Santa's here. And the brother's like, now and the brothers were like maybe like 10 years old or something like that. So basically, all you see really is a static shot of looking up into the stair, and Santa goes very slowly, walks up the stairs with the axe, goes into the little brother's room, and then you start hearing you hear a scream, and you start hearing the axe chomp, and with every axe hit, you hear the bones and the flesh, and the bones break and the flesh. The sound effect's pretty wild, but you don't see it. And then Santa comes out, bloodied axe. There's blood on the axe, and he goes over, kills the dad, and the wife finally wakes up, hears this, feels this hitting on the with the axe. She finally wakes up, looks over, and her husband's all hacked to death. And then she sees Art the Clown dressed up as Santa, and she runs out of it. So basically, Art the Clown is chasing the mom downstairs, trying to get out, and he finally catches up with her and chops her up. And then the next scene, which is one of the funny scenes, is he then treats himself. He's sitting down, kind of relaxing, and he's eating, taking the Christmas cookies that they left out for Santa. And Art is dumping it in the milk and eating it, and just take a little breather. And here's where Art the Clown is really very conscientious. He's very respectful. The next scene is he's washing the dishes that the cookies were on. So he cleans up after his, he doesn't clean up after all the mess, but he at least does the dishes. And then as he's doing the dishes, he hears this noise inside one of the kitchen cupboards, and he opens up the cupboard, and there's that little girl that was hiding. That initially saw Art, and Art bends down, looks at her, and does this, and then it cuts to another scene. So even though you don't see that little girl get killed, presumably Cart does kill the little girl. And that's just that's what I talk about. One of the things is there's quite a few kills in this movie that are off screen, and it's not just the children kills. And the other scene where a lot of children die, about 30 children die all at once, is at the mall. Santa, he has stolen the Santa suit and the beard from the Santa that he sees at the bar, and they have this. It's like a little 5-minute, almost comedy sketch with Art the Clown with the mall Santas at a bar. I guess the previous night or something like that. But now that he's gotten his hand on a Santa suit and a beard that he ripped off of his victim, he comes out with his bag, dressed as Santa, and mall security is called because they recognize that, hey, this is not their mall Santa. This is some scary guy. So anyway, but he starts pulling out presents out of his bag. Well, once the line of children sees that, he has toys, they all start running up to him, and he starts giving toys out and stuff like that. And he has about 30 or so kids just crowded around him. But at this point, mall security comes up, gets a hold of Art, takes him out, removes him from he's escorting Art out of the mall, away from the Santa village that they have mocked up in the mall. And then they cut to this one kid. He says, he takes a box out of the bag, and he says, what's this one? And he opens up the box, and a bomb explodes. Now you see the aftermath where it's like, limbs and kids, and you see the explosion, and you see some of the aftermath. And there's a scene where Sienna is at home with her. They're basically staying with her uncle and aunt and niece, and they see a news And they say on the news that there's been an explosion at the shopping mall, and like so many kids are dead, and so many more injured. And that's another thing. Talk about going back with when Art the Clown kills the little brother at the first 10 minutes of the movie. I talk about there's a lot of off-screen kills, and but you do see the aftermath. And they did that. They also did that with the little brother. You don't see the little brother getting hacked up, but in the mom trying to get away from Art, she runs into her son's room to get him and save him, but he's already dead. So they do show, the hacked up limbs of the little brother in the bedroom when the mother sees it. So that's what I mean when they do. There's quite a few off the screen kills. You don't see the kills, but you do see what happened to them. And then for me, I talked about that scene, that kill. That's a lot of people were talking about the shower scene. That was to me that was. Anytime you bring a chainsaw into a shower, you know what to expect. So for me, a scene that kind of goes alongside the hacksaw scene and the bedroom scene from the previous two movies. For me, the kill that really shocked the hell out of me was at the end. At the end, they basically have Vicky and Art have Sienna and Sienna's aunt tied up in a chair, and they're facing each other. The kill that they do, the way they kill the aunt, is they basically, Art takes this tube, shoves it into the aunt's mouth, hammers it in with hammers it down her throat with a mallet, and then takes some rats that had been eating away the flesh from Jonathan's head. And that's how they reveal that Jonathan is dead, because they reveal this decapitated head, and the rats are like eating away the flesh and stuff like that. So basically, you see this bloody skull, and they initially tell Sienna that's your niece, Gabby, and then they later reveal it's like, oh no, that's not Gabby, and then they take glasses out and they put the glasses on the skull, and they reveal that it's actually Jonathan's head. But the way they kill the aunt, that to me is that kill, that scene. So after they hammer the tube down into the ant's mouth, they take some of the rats that were eaten away on Jonathan's face, and they put the rats into the tube, and Art takes like a lighter or a flamethrower type of thing, and burns the rat's tail, so they're forced down the ant's mouth. So to me, that was like, wow. Now it didn't quite meet the level of the bedroom scene or the hacksaw scene, but it was, to me, that was the high point kill of the movie, because afterwards I was like, what the fuck did I just see? That is really creative. So anyway, that's my first review for on the channel for Terrifier 3. Be kind down in the comments, because you got to start somewhere, okay? So if you leave any criticism down in the comments, tell me some constructive criticism. How can I improve these reviews? What could I do better? Because my first review, there's going to be shit wrong with it. There's obviously things that I could do better about this, and let me know what I could do better. I know when I see this on the YouTube channel, I'm already going to see things I did wrong. So be kind in the comments. Help me out, support me. Follow me in any of my links. I have it in my link tree. I'll have that down in the description down below. If you want to help me even further, I have a Patreon thing where I actually have some movie reactions over on the Patreon that I'm not going to have on YouTube, because I just don't I'm not going to risk having my channel deleted because YouTube didn't like, I hear too many war stories about people, what they have to go through just to get those things acceptable for YouTube. So I'm not even going to deal with that shit. So if you want to see me do some movie reactions, my first movie that I reacted to was Sting. So if you want to see that, go over to my Patreon. Also, check out some of the interviews. Check out my interview with David Howard Thornton, Damien Leone, some of the authors that I've had on the show recently. I have some more interviews coming up here before the end of the year. So subscribe and be ready for that. Now that I popped my movie review cherry, I have more reviews coming out now, but I wanted Terrifier 3 to be my first one. So it could only get better from here. I could only improve from here. Hang in there. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time.